what is worse about you having a hard time with studies is that you accepted the offer. You applied and said you want to be in varsity. So you know what? Let's do this. Yep. Let's get into the studies. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sagwadi Wakarabutla and I'm back yet with another video. Okay, today we are doing IOS 2601. If it is your first time joining us, please do not forget to subscribe. Where is it? Oh, it's down. Yes, subscribe down here. Do not forget to subscribe. Down here. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you are an old savvy, you know what time it is. It's time to succeed. So we are doing interpretation of statutes that you guys have been asking for. It is assignment 1. Okay, I think it's due on the... It's due on the 10th of September. Yes. Right. Let's read the question. The case Jaga versus Donges 1950, which was delivered at the height of apartheid, remains important for the interpretation of statutes under the democratic transformation. Kindly read the case and answer the following questions. Now I see why you guys were like, please do an interpretation of statutes. Okay. Right. Question A reads, provide the facts of the Jaga case. This one is there. I think everybody passed this one. Facts of the case, we did it from first year when they were teaching us how to. Okay. In Jaga versus Jaga, is it Jaga versus Donges, the applicant Jaga was an Indian national residing in South Africa. He was convicted of theft and sentenced to 3 months imprisonment without the option of a fine. At the time, the Aliens Act 1 of 1937 provided that any alien who was sentenced to imprisonment without the option of a fine could be deported by order of the Minister of the Interior. Following his conviction, the minister issued a deportation order against Jaga. Jaga challenged the order, arguing that the statute should not be interpreted in a purely mechanical manner and that the context and purpose of the provision had to be considered. The case thus came before the appellant division, where the central issue was whether the deportation clause in Aliens Act had to be applied strictly according to its literal wording or whether a broader and more contextual interpretation was permissible. Okay. Question B reads, name and discuss the dominant interpretive approach before 1994 as followed by the majority in Jaga. I'm gonna call it the way I am. I'm trying to Englishify it. I'm gonna call it the way I understand. Okay. Prior 1994, South African courts mainly relied on the literal approach when interpreting statutes. The method, also known as the ordinary meaning rule, was the only method applied by majority in Jaga versus Donges. The key characteristics of the lateral approach is focus on wording. Courts gave statutory terms in their ordinary and grammatical meaning unless that led to an absurdity. Stability and predictability. The method was seen as ensuring consistency in the interpretation of laws. How it was used in Jaga. Section of the Aliens Act 1 of 1937 stated that an alien sentenced to imprisonment without the option of a fine could be deported. Jaga argued that the provision should not be interpreted mechanically but in light of its broader context. The majority of the appellant division rejected this argument and held that the Act's wording was clear. Since Jaga had been sentenced to prison without the option of a fine, the ministers deportation order was valid. They refused to examine the broader legislative purpose of the broader legislative purpose or the fairness of the outcome. Now, looking at the historical context and evaluation, the literalist method was dominant under apartheid, which courts often applied statutes strictly, regardless of their justice. It reflected a formal legal culture that separated law from morality. While it promoted legal certainty in certain practice, it allowed rigid enforcement of oppressive apartheid laws. I think this should be all for part 1. Then we will move on to part 2 on the next video, where we do question C, which reads name and discuss the alternative interpretive approach as followed by the minority in Jaga. Question D reads discuss the effect of section 39 subsection 2 of the Constitution and the new interpretative approach followed in Barto Star Fishing versus Minister of Home Affairs. We're discussing cases. It's not too difficult, guys. It's not. I think because we are so used to when you check previous questions, it's so different the way they've done the questioning, but it's very simple. They wanted you to, in question A, to discuss the facts of the case. Question B, discuss the dominant interpretive approach with reference to the case, and that is all. That is all, guys. It's not. It's not difficult, guys. If you want me to review your assignments, you can WhatsApp me. My number is on my bio. I do charge for it, ne? Like, you guys, I'm so shocked that people who come to my inbox, my WhatsApp, and act surprised. Don't do that. You yourself, you don't have free time to just be sitting and doing nothing. So if I allocate time, I'm not unreasonable. If I allocate time and I say, okay guys, I'm gonna help you review your assignments and give my commentary on what you could do better and fix where we need to fix, it's not a problem. But I charge for my time, unfortunately. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for coming to the end of the video. I really do appreciate you for not skipping ads and trying your best to keep the channel alive. I'll see you in the next video where we do the part 2 for IOS. I love you so much. Mwah!